As you work your way through the editor project, you're going to read and follow the directions. So the first thing we're going to read is we're going to read what's in this call out. That's the speech bubble for our little character Eddie the editor. Format means to change the appearance of something. We're going to learn how to use the formatting commands on the Home tab. They allow us to edit the cover and other parts of the story, a collection of stories written for children. We're going to begin with 3 ways to select text. Before you can make any changes to the text, you need to know that before you change the text, you have to select it. So if you open up your document, a collection of stories for children, there are 3 ways. You can click on the left and then drag it to whatever you want to select. You can also click in the white area to deselect any text. Another way to select text is to triple click a line or paragraph of text. Then you can also click on one end, hold the Shift key down on your keyboard, and click on the other, and it will select a line of text. Make sure you read and follow all the directions as you go through. Now, font. We've talked about it before. Font is the design of letters or characters. This is what helps you make your text look unique. On the Home tab, find the font group. You're going to click the drop-down arrow next to the font group. Then you're going to change your font. Notice that your title should still be selected when you do this. Whenever you move your mouse over one of the fonts, you'll notice that it changes. So pick something that would look appealing and appropriate for children's story. Some fonts do not show up in Canvas, so avoid those, please, such as Algerian. And it can be any font, just something that's easily read. You wouldn't want to click something like this because it's a little more difficult to read. Okay. Now to change the font size, you can click on the drop-down arrow, and there are preset sizes such as anywhere from 8 to 72. But size can also be adjusted by just typing in a number such as 32 and then entering. Now if you click on the command next to that, it's Grow Font. That increases it according to the point size that is in your drop-down preset commands. 72 inches is literally about an inch of text. If I made it 72, you can see on the ruler on the left, that's about an inch. 72 points is about an inch. So 72 is too big for the title, so we want to shrink that a little bit to around 36. Okay, then to add a text effect, you would click on Text Effects command, click the drop-down arrow. You want to pick a darker color because we have a lighter background. Okay, you click on any of the preset ones, or you can go through and choose the outline and choose whatever color you would like to choose. Okay, that's for the outline. That's what goes around the text. You can also change the weight or the thickness of the line. Generally, thinner is better here. Notice how if you go to 6 points thick, that's way too thick, you can't see it. But 1 adds a little effect to it, to the text that you might like. You can click on more outline colors and change it to something else as well. It's generally better not to use custom, but to go to standard and to choose something from one of the standard colors. You can add a shadow effect. Notice how it gives you a preview. Any of the shadow effects is fine. You could add a reflection. And you can add a glow. This one's very popular, but you've got to make sure you choose the right color glow so that it emphasizes and stands out, as well as the right amount of glow. That it stands out but doesn't overwhelm. Now, we could also align the text. This is where the text shows up on the page. It's best when you have titles to center it. And we can also center align the pictures. So you can use the same commands that you use for text to align your pictures. If you center align it, it goes to the center. If you right align it, it starts from the right side of the page. Justify generally won't work with either pictures or less than a paragraph of text. You need at least a paragraph of text to justify it. This is the way we would align the text so that newspapers and magazines use. So centering the picture looks best. Whenever you're editing something, a cover or something like that, you want to have enough white space that it looks interesting and enjoyable. Now, another text that we could use bold, underline, and italicize. You don't want to use all three. One is enough. So let's leave this bold. And then we can also highlight it. If we have text selected, we could highlight the text. But we still need a text effect here. So you again want to make sure you use something that'll stand out, but that's different from what you used earlier. If it's highlighted, you'll notice that it doesn't show up very well. So you no color. Select your text, triple click, click and drag however you want, and then add a text effect. You can use something simple like this. This text should be, say, sort of a large size. So we need to make it a little bit bigger, closer to about 22, so it takes up more of the page. We need to do the same thing with our list of stories. We need to add a text effect to it. Make it something different that you didn't use before. Make sure that whatever you use, that it helps it to stand out and blends well with whatever you've chosen for your text effects on the rest of it. Now we want to add this and make this a bulleted list. We could just click on the bulleted command, or we could click on a numbering command to make a numbered list. But if we want to define a special bullet, we would click the drop down arrow, then click define new bullet, click symbol, click the drop down arrow. Wingdings, webdings, those are really popular ones. You want to pick something that's appropriate, say books, to match your story and what you're talking about. Make sure that whatever colors blend well with the colors up at the top of your screen, but they're not so pale that you could not see it, because you need something darker. Remember, has to be darker so that it will stand out. Remember, you can always reset your outline colors, more outline colors, go with something darker but not as thick, and keep adjusting until you get it right, but don't spend too much time on any one item. Okay, then you're going to click and drag to select written, or you could do shift and click, and sometimes that doesn't work as well, like with a bulleted list, but you could click, hold the shift key down, and click again. We're going to right align this, and then after Gerard, we're going to enter, and we're going to type edited by, and then your name. Notice that this has a line of space here because they entered one more time, so that you want a line of space. This should be the smallest text on the page, but you can still change the style if you want. If you want to go with something else, you could do that. Okay, and about 12 is right. You don't want to have any space after. You want everything to be on one page. Then you want to reduce the size so that you can see the page as one, so that you can see how it looks. I can look at this and say, okay, I need a little bit more space here, and then I need to increase the font size of this more so it can be seen more easily. Notice how the name went on to the next page. So now we need to decrease some space somewhere. We can do that by decreasing the size of our title a little bit. If you don't want to do that, you could decrease the amount of space you have here, and you want to make sure that your written by is at the bottom of the page, and that this is the second largest text, but doesn't go onto a second line. So you've got to find the balance between the two. And then submit.